It's time to go to New York.
Hello.
My name's Dakota. Hey, with my co-host Jordan, as always.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Strong Collectors Podcast. We're reporting to you live from Jordan's bed.
We just made love.
Whoa, that's... Alright, not a kid's show.
Just like open up. That guy.
I know the things that you've been talking about.
Right.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Strong Collectors Podcast. I'm your host, Dakota, with my co-host, Jordan, and today we're talking about New York Comic Con. So, this past weekend, I drove down to Des Moines to see Jordan, and then we both flew out of Des Moines to New York. Bit of a headache to do that. We accidentally booked the wrong tickets like 4 months ago. We booked going from New York to Des Moines back to New York, so...
It could happen to anyone, really.
It could. Had to ditch the wives and go solo, but still had a good time. This will probably be a little bit more of a YouTube episode, but we'll still try to work it in with audio. But we're going to overlay some videos that we took at Comic-Con, and you'll be able to see kind of what we saw, and then we'll overlay in some of our like vlog-style videos here too. Hello, we made it to New York Comic Con. Here's what we're seeing. I think first order of business is go see Hasbro or maybe Todd McFarlane, whichever one is closer. We'll let you know how it goes. So, Jordan, what did you think about Comic-Con, kind of just overall in general first?
Yeah.
Was it what you expected?
Well, we went on Saturday, which is always like the really busy, kind of crazy day historically for Comic-Cons, because I've been to like Kansas City, you know, we've both been to Chicago. That's kind of the limit of what I've done. Obviously never San Diego or even New York. So this one had like multiple levels. Like there was, I mean, we had to use escalators to get to and from different parts of the show, where I'm used to like it's one floor, you know, and everything's there. So that was a little different. But I don't know, for the most part it was kind of what I expected with the vendors. But I think what was really unique were the displays, like obviously the Marvel one, and we saw the NECA and the Super 7. Like those were huge kind of structure. You know, they had like the big like Jumbotron type TV for Marvel. So that was kind of cool. That always looks like when you picture like San Diego, it's kind of like that. So that was fun. I liked it. I think we got some good finds, got some comics. No real deals on figures so much.
No. Yeah, that was... I don't know, maybe we'll get into that a little bit later, but
yeah,
I think my general thought was I was actually kind of surprised at how small it was. I guess maybe I was just thinking, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I would like we've been to Chicago and like Chicago feels big, and this felt it was obviously bigger than Chicago, but I think maybe I was just thinking more like this is gonna be like San Diego, where I was like, there's no way we're gonna see everything. We just got to pick the things we want to see. I ended up staying a little bit later than you, and I'm pretty sure I saw everything. But we also weren't like trying to go to different like panels throughout the day. We didn't have a ton of stuff that we were trying to like wait in line to get signed. So like that probably also saved us some time where we were just like always moving around. So I guess maybe that leads to my like, I was able to see more of it where I was expecting like, there's no way. I was also surprised, like it didn't seem like we had a ton of celebrities there. Like we had, like there was Michael J. Fox, Oscar Isaac, like maybe like some like 5 really big name people there, and then it just kind of was like some smaller folks, not that
some
like
lower level Smallville stars.
right, Which, like, I guess again, maybe I was thinking more
it's
on
cool,
the level of
but
San
it's
Diego.
not. Yeah. I do agree. It's interesting that a place as big as New York with so many celebrities connected to that area wouldn't have more. But
Right.
maybe it's a thing where, like, because Oscar Isaac is probably the highest profile celebrity I've ever, like, seen at Comic-Con as far as, like, working right now. You know what I'm saying? Like a Patrick Stewart, it's like cool, but most of his stuff was from a while ago.
Sure.
So like Oscar Isaac, I don't know if there's any part of you as a celebrity that would be like that's a bad look to kind of be scraping for cash at Comic-Con. I don't know.
True.
You know? I'm not
Yeah.
sure how that works. Because you remember, like, wasn't he 200 plus to get a picture with or something? Like, does he need that money? I'd hope not. I mean,
True.
unless Marvel's not paying him well.
Right.
But
And, yeah, even that stuff was unfortunate because, like, if you were going to get your picture with Oscar Isaac or Sebastian Stan, or I mean, I would assume that Michael J. Fox was similar, but I guess I didn't see anybody take pictures with him. But there was like that glass barrier, so you would and it wasn't even like a very seamless glass barrier. It was like you could clearly see like one side of the barrier was lighter, one was darker, and it almost looked like photoshopped that you weren't even actually there. Because that's what I thought, that some people were just like photoshopping them their pictures on there until
that's
like
funny.
they were like leaned up against the glass with the person, and it was just like, yeesh, you paid $225 just to stand on the other side of the glass as somebody you watched on TV, which doesn't seem much different, I guess. But I guess maybe you were able to have some sort of dialogue with the person and be like, "Oh, I loved Moon Knight," and
what?
Yeah,
I love Moon. Huh?
Can you sign the thing? Glass. I'm sorry.
You gotta slide it through the tray. It's like you're visiting a prisoner. Yeah, that would have been very weird. I mean, obviously, like, what was shocking, I don't know, do you want to segue into the Hasbro stuff, or?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, that was kind of weird. We just saw Ryan just standing there hanging out from Hasbro team, which you were like, is that him? I was like, yeah, I think it is. And we're kind of like, hey, Ryan.
Right.
Well, he was wearing a mask too, so it was
True.
kind of like, is that him? And he's just like, yep. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, and he was just wearing like a Ghost Rider shirt too, so it, like, he could have been a fan, which probably helps him like maneuver throughout the crowd when he's just wanting to like see Comic-Con. You could go kind of incognito, but
because he'd said that Dan wasn't there, right? Didn't he say he took a day off or something?
Right. Yeah. Unfortunately, like, we went on Saturday, but on what was it? So I think Thursday and Friday, maybe, or at least one of those days, all three of the team was there. But then I think Dwight went home early, and then Dan was taking the day off, so it was just Ryan going solo. But I don't know. I still got my Marvel Legends variant covered Ghost Rider signed by him, so I thought that was kind of fun. I thought it would be cool to get all three of them to sign the Robbie Reyes action figure cover, because obviously with the HasLab, but then two of the three ended up not being there. So now that's going to be my new search is next time we go.
But Dakota got it signed, and then you posted it on Instagram, right? And did you tag Ryan?
Yeah.
And then he reposted it? So
yeah.
We also had flyers that we handed out with our Strong Collectors info. And
so all of you new listeners out there, welcome.
Yeah, welcome. I'm sure that we're almost to that giveaway, 200.
Yeah.
But, so he kind of scanned it, so that was cool to see him, like, oh, maybe he's... Unfortunately, our last episode was about how the HasLab is doomed, but we didn't say anything about that.
Right. I mean, I feel like, I don't know, I'm sure that, like, that's got to be hard for him as he's there. Like, people are just like, yeah, it's one thing to see, like, trolls. Right. People on Instagram or on the live streams or wherever, they're, like, making the comments like, oh, this HasLab is doomed, this sucks about it, this thing. But then to, like, I'm sure they're, like you and I are not really planning on backing it. I guess we'll see what these I think there's supposed to be maybe 2 more tiers, I thought I heard. So, like, maybe that moves the needle and sways us. but like as of right now, it's a little overpriced and like we just can't swing it. We weren't gonna like bring that up to him and be like, oh, this is our one chance to talk to you. Like, we're gonna tell you our gripes and grievances, where I'm sure some people would just walk up there and be like, man, what are you doing with the, and it's like, you're talking to the wrong person. Like, he does not set the price. They just say, here's what we're gonna sell. Ryan, Dan, go out and sell it.
Well, and that's kind of the thing. There are always people are directing their angry comments like they're the ones who are determined. They're just literally like, how do we give you the best product and like fill out the most slots when you're like, you need this many toys to make.
Right.
Like, I don't think they deliberately don't give you the toys you want, because that's like, why would you not? But there's certain times where it's like, this is just what we got to do.
Right. And that's like, I mean, it's definitely one of those like, don't shoot the messenger type things where it's like, your gripes aren't really with these three guys. Your gripes are with the Hasbro corporate suits who are making these decisions, and like, I'm sure
who we probably know are listening to this.
Exactly. You daggum corporate suits. Come on the podcast so we can ask you some questions. But yeah, I don't know. He was nice, and I think it probably had to be it was probably a 50-50. Like, there was probably good folks that came up to him, and then other folks that just like wanted to bash on it. And I don't know, honestly, like we got to see it in person. Like, I was actually super impressed, because like I was like, I don't really want a car. It's like cool. Like, I want to see some other people take pictures of it. But once we were there in person, I was like, whoa, this is actually like, it was a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be.
Say, it was more on par in my mind with your Sentinel comparison that I laughed at, where I was like, it wasn't quite that big, but it was definitely bigger than like what a normal size car would be.
Right.
For like, a Legend, you know,
I've never
you wouldn't
seen
have a civilian figure getting in a car that big. It wouldn't make sense.
I don't think I've seen the Bratz car in person, but I just can't imagine that that's going to be a similar size. Even though, like, I know a lot of people are making those comparisons, but maybe it's similar. But if it is, that Bratz car is freaking huge. But yeah, I was pretty impressed, and the figures too. I was like, it was actually kind of flipped for me, because right now, if you had asked me who I was more excited for, I'd be like, well, I'd like to get a Mephisto. I have no interest in a Madeline Pryor. But now, after seeing him in person, I was kind of like, Mephisto looks kind of weak. Goblin Queen was way cooler, I thought. Like, the cape was awesome. I was kind of surprised with how tall she was compared to Mephisto. And yeah, I thought it looked really good.
Yeah, I thought the design on the cape, like the way they don't really capture that in the photos, the way it kind of fades. So that was cool. I mean, it was neat to see them all. I'm glad it wasn't what we maybe thought it was when they said all tiers will be there, because, I mean, as fun as that would have been, again, I'm kind of with you where if we're not going to unlock them, I'd rather not see them. So, but yeah, that, I mean, it definitely looked better in person. Still not enough to make me get it, but I think the people who do get it and really want it would be pretty happy with it.
Yeah. All right, Jordan, you just saw the HasLab. What do you think?
I'm getting 5.
Getting 5? That is pretty cool, though.
It is bigger than I thought. That's what she said.
I was gonna say, that's what she said.
It definitely, I think people don't realize the scale of it. I realize it's bigger. I need to see Mephisto again.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It is much bigger than I expected, but still, I don't know. We'll see.
Still a pass for me.
Yeah, it seems like the Packers are still slowly dropping, but time will tell. Well, I guess so. We kind of talked about this while we were there, but the Marvel Legends area was only the HasLab, rather than at Comic-Con. They had all the new figures that they revealed. They had the HasLab from, like, the Galactus was all set up. We were talking, like, would you have rather seen Galactus all displayed at the con, or are you excited that it wasn't there and now you just get to open your own once it arrives and then you can pose it, move it, and actually use it? What do you think, Jordan?
I think I would rather see it in person, like owning it, than see it in a glass case. Because then, like, you could do that thing where you're either like, oh, that doesn't look like how I thought, and then you're going to be kind of bummed when it gets there. But it's like, there is something very different about having a figure in hand than seeing it. And I think there are you and I have talked about this, ones that you're like, that looks kind of terrible. Then you get it and you're like, oh, that's pretty cool. So I would rather get it than see it there, but it might be sooner than we think, because haven't people been getting emails about it shipping? I thought I saw that.
Yeah, so shipping, I think it's only for UK folks are getting the shipping notifications, but I was watching Dan Who's YouTube video about it, and he was saying that, like, with as quick as they get those emails, they could have them in hand tomorrow, or if you're listening to the day we post this, today. So we may be seeing some in-hand reviews of Galactus very shortly, which kind of goes almost to our point of, like, why are we having to pay for a new HasLab before we get the other one? This one, we may actually get Galactus in at least some people's hands before the Robbie Reyes closes.
And that could sway some people.
Yeah, I mean, I would honestly think it would only sway them in the negative, because if there's some QC issue with Galactus, it's just going to hurt the HasLab more. Whereas if we're all expecting Galactus to be awesome, if Galactus is awesome, then it's going to just kind of stay level. So really, I think this could only really hurt Robbie Reyes.
I didn't think about that. That's actually that's a good take.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. I doubt we're gonna get our Galactus in by then, but I don't know. It's only October 11th-ish.
Well, he was projected for November, right?
Right. So, but it also was like Amazing Fantasy Spider-Man was projected for what, December?
I got some Dark Troopers from Hasbro in today that were projected for April.
So, you can't really trust Hasbro's shipping. So I'm
like I would hate to have the shipping coordinator's job, but I'm also curious as to who it is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's just they're just trying to give themselves so much grace period so that people aren't like, where's my stuff? It's been a month and I'm still waiting on my pre-order. But then you get the people you get the opposite now, where it's like, I wasn't expecting to have to pay for this until April next year, and now I just got charged. Where, like, I don't know, this is kind of getting off topic of New York Comic Con. We'll add this into our grievances section. Anyway, yeah, they really only had that there, the HasLab for Marvel Legends, and it was just like the Marvel booth, which, like, there was like some costumes and the projector was playing stuff, but then right next to that was the Marvel Unlimited booth, and they had a deal where if you signed up for, I think, the year, you would get one of the previous exclusives. So it was either you get the Spider-Woman looking Ms. Marvel, you got the Punisher Venom, or the purple Deadpool, which I was tempted by that because I do want to sign up for Marvel Unlimited. But I don't really have anything, like, I don't want to read it on my laptop. I don't want to read it on my phone. So I'm going to get a iPad first, and then I'll get it. And then I'll probably get the one with the yellow Deadpool, or yellow Daredevil. So
Dakota's just making his Christmas list.
That's also why, because I was like, I'd rather put that on a Christmas list rather than pay for it myself right now, and just to get an action figure. Because those looked cool, but it's not like I'm, like, really jonesing for a purple Deadpool. So it was cool to see him in person, though.
And we had some other toy booths. I know one of the first ones we saw was Super 7, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't have anything or really have too much interest, just because Super 7's a little bit pricier. Their stuff looked awesome. Like, I had never seen it in person. I had seen some of the, like, reveals of their, like, supersized Super 7 Disney figures. I used to work at Disney. My wife and I love Disney. So I'm always attracted to the Disney characters. I just don't really have the space for it to be ordering those because I got too many superheroes. But it was cool to see the giant figures there. Then on the other side of that, they had, like, I didn't even know they made G.I. Joes. but their GI Joes looked pretty good. I'm sure they're not quite as articulated as Hasbro, but maybe they're more detailed. I'm not really sure. I think they had some of their the new Silverhawk figures. I think people have been excited about those. And I think they had some Thundercats and maybe some monsters, stuff like that.
There were some Power Rangers.
Oh yeah, that's right. They did have Power Rangers too. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. I doubt I'm ever going to order that, so it was cool to see it in person. They had some cool shirt options, but yeah, Super 7 was good. Then I thought the Dragon Ball Z area was actually probably one of the most like fan like immersive, because they had like the giant, I don't watch Dragon Ball Z, whoever the giant dragon is was
I don't
up
even
above.
know his name, but yeah.
The dragon from Fortnite now. And then they kind of had like different spots for you to take pictures, so you could be like riding on the cloud, you could be doing the like whatever, the like you power up and it's like the
Going Super Saiyan.
yeah, you could be going Super Saiyan. And then they had their figures out too. And like I like how they do the like when they're doing the Kamehameha.
Kamehameha.
I know.
I was close.
That's
Kamehameha.
it's another Fortnite thing where some Fortnite person said Kamehameha just to like be a meme. Got it really viral. And but anyway, they have like a separate stand for the like blast that they're shooting, so that looks cool, which I think would be fun if Marvel Legends did something like that, where with that new Iron Man with the big blast, if you had a longer strand that had a stand at the end, so you'd be able to have a better display, kind of like those Dragon Ball Z characters.
Oh, like it connects to the base and it's like a
right. So like it's not actually attached to the character; it's kind of like separate from the character, but blasting out. So I like that effect. Maybe we'll see that with Marvel Legends. I'm not going to hold my breath.
You're not getting that unless you're shelling out probably who knows how much.
Yeah, definitely be a deluxe. But yeah, I thought it was kind of cool, fun to
They'd
walk
probably
around.
call it a 2-pack.
Yeah, no kidding. It'd be much better than
your base would be count as a character.
Yeah, I just got the Spider-Man Noir and Spider-Ham, and I'm sure it's got that deluxe style price because of Spider-Ham, which is upsetting. But
it's like the Mojo 4-pack, dude.
Exactly. I know. I feel like I'd be interesting to go back and listen to like how many episodes have we mentioned the Mojo 4-pack and how ridiculous it is, because it seems like it's almost every episode. I'm sorry, folks. If you're really excited for the Mojo 4-pack, go get yourself checked. After that, we also saw some Dimond Select. They had a pretty big display. That was pretty fun to look at. I don't have any Dimond Selects. I don't think I've ever had any. You've had some.
I have all the zombies are selects.
That's
the
right.
Hulk, Spidey, Cap, and Sabretooth.
Nice.
But I mean, I've had some in hand. I just had the She-Hulk Select that I sold.
You've had Mephisto.
I had Mephisto. Yeah, he has the rubber bandy legs though. But I had Superior Spider-Man, which I thought would be cool, but just the scale, it's too big.
Yeah.
And they're not very articulated, so it's like they might look cool, but you can't. You just put them in the generic sandwich man pose, as Todd would say.
And that's kind of the thing, is they don't really pose very well at all. Like the articulation's not they're more focused on the sculpt. And yeah, you don't really get those dynamic poses. It's more just vanilla, or however they wanted them posed is kind of your only option. But they had the new ones. Their Beta Ray Bill, I thought he was way bigger than I was expecting. Apocalypse looked meh to me. I thought Red Hulk actually looked better than I was expecting. And then they had one more. I don't know. You'll see it in the video. And then they had the new Invincible figures, which we talked about this quite a while back. Just like Dimond Select should not be doing Invincible. Like, it needs to go to Hasbro or someone else that can do. I don't know. Maybe I'm just looking for better articulation, but like, not even articulation. It's just like the look of them don't even look good. Like Invincible looks like he's got a weird colored like skin tone. Omni-Man looks okay. But then like with these new ones, they had Robot, Monster Girl, Duplicate, and I want to say it's Adam Alien. Duplicate looked, in my opinion, pretty bad. Monster Girl looked pretty good in like monster form. Like young girl, Monster Girl didn't look that great. But then it also looked like there was hardly any articulation to the monster form and Monster Girl. Robot looked good, but like I've said before, how are you going to mess that up? You're making a robot that really doesn't, there's no articulation again. And Adam Alien I thought looked kind of small. So Invincible being my favorite storyline, pretty sad with the level of figures we're getting from that. But, you know, maybe if it gets more popular, other people will want to be making them. And then maybe that's where I'll have to get them from.
They might be working on them to come out with the season 2. I don't know. But,
I mean, I would hope so, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, oh yeah, if they had an Invincible with Hasbro articulation,
I'd be all over that. I'd order all those for sure. So yeah, it's
new HasLab,
like to just get them all.
Just Invincible HasLab,
Just a Invincible like
a pack.
Yeah, that would be good. I was gonna say I don't even know if I could think of like an Invincible HasLab they could do, but anyway, I hope somebody else gets the license to that because I want those figures, just not from Dimond Select.
Yeah, I don't think I'd even want Todd to do it.
No, I agree. I think he'd be okay, but like they're just too animated, and his animated figures are okay, but not Invincible style. So that's where I think somebody like, I mean, maybe Mattel could do something good with it. But yeah, I mean, Hasbro is kind of where I see the best potential just because all their characters are so like cartoony already with their comic characters. I think that would work out pretty well, but you know, I definitely don't expect Hasbro to get that license.
No.
I just don't think it fits their other IPs. So, yeah. So then, they also had some pretty cool statues, which I was kind of surprised at the price because some statues can get pretty insane with like up into the thousands, and they were, I thought, pretty reasonably priced for the size. Still don't know that I would get any. Maybe when I get a house and have a bunch of room for like my man cave, maybe I'll get a couple statues, but this is my display area that you can see on screen now, so I don't even have room for the figures that I've got, so no statues are coming in here, but maybe someday. Then we got into probably my favorite of any of the displays at Comic-Con was NECA, which is kind of surprising because I don't do a ton of NECA, but their gargoyles were fantastic. It's going to be hard to display all those with their giant wings, but it looks like Damona's going to be getting draped wings. So I would assume that's probably going to come with Lexington since he's a smaller gargoyle. But then Xanatos and his drones looked awesome because they're like the bigger robot gargoyles. So I'm feeling like I'm going to get a Xanatos and maybe 2 of his drones just because I think that'd be cool to have them on each side. But then they had some monsters. I know you're much more into the monsters, Jordan. How did you like the monster display?
I was very happy. I already have most of those ordered. So it was Dracula, they had Invisible Man, Wolfman, Mummy, Frankenstein. The only ones on pre-order of those were Dracula and Invisible Man. And then they had like the accessory kits there. So the Dracula one I have on pre-order and Frankenstein. I have the Mummy one, which is actually right here.
Nice.
So
yeah, that looks really good.
Little, like the sarcophagus, and it's pretty substantial.
Ooh.
I mean, it's not like you know what I'm saying? Like it's like, so that's cool. And then it has another little box that comes with it. So I'm excited to get the Frankenstein and Dracula ones, and they kind of teased Creature from the Black Lagoon and the Bride of Frankenstein. They didn't have him there. I think they had the Creature at San Diego though. So
okay.
I saw some, or at least a tease. Like, I'm pretty sure he was there. So I'm excited. You know, I love the monsters. So I'm hoping the monsters catch on now with Werewolf by Night. And
yeah.
seems like a lot of people are at least wanting some monster characters. So
True.
this might be my time to go to
Yeah, I mean,
Frankencastle, build a figure. Oh, I should have said that to Ryan as like my one nerd request. Like, hey man, have you just consider a Frankencastle toy,
yeah,
please?
It is with the success of Werewolf by Night. I could see it being more popular. The only issue I would see is they have to schedule these figures out like 18 months in advance at least. So I don't know if 18 months ago they were predicting the popularity of Werewolf by Night.
But like as we move into like Blade, and we'll probably see Werewolf, Man Thing, like as you explore that world, maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
So
yeah, I mean it's definitely possible now.
But yeah, those were cool. They had some other horror figures. The Munsters. Not getting any of those. Sorry, Rob Zombie. But yeah, they had a pretty cool display, and they had a nice setup too. Where I was going to say, calling it the vault, like it looked like a bank vault with. I don't know.
Yeah, even their Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle display was crazy. Like they had, I mean, I don't think that was every figure they've ever made, but it had to have been close. Like they had a whole building display with figures inside of it, figures on it. Like kind of.
Oh yeah, they had the Last Ronin toys too.
Yep. Yeah, and I think, did they have the Invisible Man turtle too? I don't remember. Maybe not. I think they just revealed that recently though.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was. That's why I think it was just the coolest display. Even though like I don't get a ton of NECA, just the fact that they had so much to like show was cool. Where I think that's maybe I was just missing that from Hasbro. I was like, oh, I just want to see some more figures because that's like what we're most into. Like we read comics and like we picked up some books, but it's not like, whoa, look at all these comic book boxes I get to look through. It's a little less exciting.
Yeah, unless you have a mission, it's kind of like a hassle. But
right. So then I think it was on Thursday or Friday. McFarlane had some reveals. So
that's right.
We've got a few new spawns coming from him in the like bigger spawn line or like the normal spawn line. We're going to be getting a medieval spawn, which is interesting because I and probably everyone else assume that he's been teasing that as the new Kickstarter. So is he going to...
Maybe it'll be a board game.
Maybe that'll be a board... I don't know. We'll see.
We planted the seed.
Yeah, he did chat about the board games quite a bit in our interview. So if you haven't listened to the interview, go back and listen to that. But you're not even going to hear as much of the board game talk that we had because I cut out probably 15 minutes of that chat. So, yeah, it's just strange to be like... Because he was really pumping up. Like, I think an interview a year ago, he was like, yeah, I want to do a medieval spawn with, like, real metal weapons and shields and stuff like that. And now I guess he's getting put down into the regular line, but maybe we'll get another one. Because it would be a cool one to do as a Kickstarter, because you could get a cool cloth cape going.
Yeah, but it would kind of, like, the people who can't afford the Kickstarter would just get the other one as, like, a substitute. So you're kind of competing against yourself.
Right, and I would think you would want to do the Kickstarter first before you put out the cheaper version. So
exactly.
This is interesting. I don't know. Then you've got, what is this? Mammoth spawn? Monolith? Yeah, Monolith. Kind of blurry in my image. I haven't read anything with him in it, but I know he's on some of the covers that I've seen. Just a ginormous, hulking, red and white, monster-ish looking spawn. Not one that I need. Maybe when I read the books that he's in, I'll have a different attitude towards him. And he's, I'm sure, going to be on the mega figure box size. And then you also have a Sin. So I'm kind of surprised he's putting him in there because that's like a brand new character that came out like 2 months ago, I think. So interesting. I won't spoil Jordan's readings on who that is, but pretty major player in the books right now. Then sticking with Spawn, we're going to be getting some Page Puncher spawns. These are going to be in the little tiny 3-inch scale, and I don't know. It is cool because like
who is buying those?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe there's enough Spawn fans that want it, I think the one saving grace for this one kind of is the books that come with it. So you get 4 figures, 2 come with one comic and 2 come with a different comic. So if you want your regular Spawn or the anti-Spawn, you get Spawn number 1, which I guess is good because, you know, it's a little bit pricier of a book, but it's not that hard to find. Like Jordan and I both bought a Spawn number 1 for $25 or right around there.
Well, if you just want to read Spawn number 1, though, you can just get a paperback.
I think you can actually read Spawn number 1 on their website too.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like I said, maybe it's just fun to have, but I'm sure it's like some sort of like there'll be some distinction of it where it's not like you're not going to be like, oh, this is the same as a regular Spawn number 1. There'll be like printed 2022 or something. But then if you want to get your Gunslinger Spawn or who is this? Auger? Is that how you say his name? Auger?
Yeah, that's an auger.
Weird. I don't know. Anyway, it looks more like a Plague Spawn to me, but, you know, tiny figure, small picture. With those 2 figures, you're going to get Gunslinger number 1. I think that's what this is. Unless it's like whatever issue that Gunslinger first appeared in. I can't see the issue number on it. But you get 4 characters there. Little tiny guys. Like Jordan said, probably not ones that you're really trying to track down. But I liked our idea for Page Puncher with the 7-inch scale where you got like a 4-issue mini-series that you could only get through the Page Punchers, but Todd didn't seem to love that idea. But then he's bringing back is it Movie Maniacs? Is that what that line is called? So you got the Wicked Witch of the West, you got Bugs Bunny in a Superman outfit. Looks like Harry Potter and Ted Lasso, maybe. Yeah. I'm not going to spend too much time on that. I have no interest.
Nothing that I need.
Then we got some reveals for some new DC Multiverse mega figures. And these were actually like in hand at whatever event they were at. But we got the new Frankenstein and the new, is it Mongrel?
Boy, are they ugly.
Mongol looks terrible. Not how I would have envisioned him looking. Like I'd just go back and get the Superman Classics or DCUC, whichever that one is. That looks more like what I imagine. Frankenstein, I think he looks decent. For $40 though, not one that I'm gonna pick up. Would go well with the Halloween display right now. But I guess you've got a real Frankenstein.
I've got the only Frankenstein I need right here in Dakota.
So, yeah.
I
don't know. Those are those 2.
Yeah.
One looks decent, one doesn't. But then we got some regular DC Multiverse figures coming out. I don't think the names are on here, so I'm not going to know what this yellow Batman variant is. I actually saw somebody cosplaying as this at New York Comic Con, so it's at least popular enough. Want. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that guy's going to get it. But yeah, another variant of Batman. Or maybe it's not even Batman. I don't know. Somebody in a Batman costume. Then you get a Catwoman. This, to me, looks kind of like the Long Halloween style of Catwoman, so I might pick her up. I might wait for a sale on her because I imagine she'll probably go on sale. But I love the Long Halloween storyline. I got my number 1, or well, it's kind of a number 1. It's the Batman movie Long Halloween special signed by Jeff Loeb. Then you've got your Hush Batman, which that one, you know, how many Batmans do you need? But that one looks like the cape looks really good. That might be my regular Batman that I display with. But then I've got this Batman down here that I've kept in the box forever, that the 3 Jokers Batman. He might be getting replaced before he even gets out of his box, but then he was super cheap, so it's not even worth selling him. I just bury myself in Batman.
I tried to get one of him once, but I think he was all loosey-goosey somehow, so got rid of him.
I have one for sale.
I'll think about it.
Then you get your Superboy. This one I think looks pretty good. Looks kind of like how I would imagine Superboy to look. Again, these are all digital renders, so like it may end up being a little bit different, but I've seen some people do customs of this, and I think this looks like exactly what people want, so that's good. Then you got Mr. Freeze, and he looks, I don't know, he doesn't look bad. It doesn't look quite right to me. I don't know. It's maybe a little too white and not enough blue, maybe. I don't know. What do you think about this Mr. Freeze, Jordan?
He doesn't quite have the like classic Mr. Freeze look.
Right.
Like,
I think maybe
even that one. Do you remember? I think we may have both had it as a kid. You might still have yours. Remember that one where his head was in the bowl, and like as you turned him, his head turned, but like it was like a battle suit, but it had like the blue and gray color scheme. So it was kind of like what I would imagine McFarlane would do. But it felt like he kind of veered a little too much into, for being like, you can do variants of Mr. Freeze later, but I don't know.
I mean, that's just kind of his typical, like, he's going to put out all the variants first to make you want the classic, and then he'll give you something that's kind of like the classic, and then you'll say, "Hi, thanks, this is good enough, I guess."
This is kind of what I almost want.
Exactly.
Then your two Batman and his arms just blow up.
Yeah. So I don't know. You get a Mr. Freeze finally. People have been wanting it. Maybe it's more of like a modern look. I think maybe I'm just looking more for that like animated series look to him. So maybe that's my issue, is I'm just too stuck on one Mr. Freeze. Then you get your Eradicator, another one that people have been asking for quite a long time, but in the typical McFarlane fashion. This Eradicator's got a giant black mask on or something. Like, it almost looked like, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, that's Eradicator. And then I looked at it some more and I was like, is that supposed to be Cyborg Superman? Because he's got like, it almost looks like a robo jaw
face. Yeah.
But it's also a digital render that's kind of small, so you can't really get too much detail. But I definitely think it's supposed to be Eradicator, but it isn't the Eradicator that people are really wanting. So
gold label, baby.
Yeah, I guess. Be watching for your Target exclusive. The cape on him at least looks cool. Like, it's a lot more windswept, and it's like, that'll look good on a display. But
gold label, baby.
Yeah. And then you get a Joker. And this Joker, I don't know what storyline he's from. He's got kind of crazier hair with a giant knife. And it looks very similar to, what was it? Like, maybe the Three Jokers. It's kind of like a mix of a lot of the Three Jokers. Like, it looks like the comedian mixed with like an Arkham City Joker. I don't know.
He did get away with making 3 Jokers, didn't he?
Yeah, in one wave, yeah. I mean, those were at least distinct enough, where it was like, one was the Killing Joke, one was the... Actually, I think there was 4 in that one, because I think he had the, like, stapled-on face one. Maybe that was a different one. Maybe that wasn't even made. I don't know. Yeah, lots of Jokers. This one doesn't look much different than ones you probably already have, but I know some people
Speaking of Jokers...
We got the Dark Knight
movie wave.
So we got, like Jordan said, we're going to get a Heath Ledger Joker. So I think that's probably...
I think people will go pretty wild for that one.
That one makes me question. Like, I know I said I would never invest in a McFarlane figure because they always go on clearance and they never are worth what they're never worth retail. This one, though, with as iconic as the Heath Ledger Joker is, this one I could see doing something. I'm definitely going to get one for myself. I don't know that I'll invest. I don't think I'm going to really trust it, but I'll get one for myself for sure. Then you get your Batman to go with him. Your, what is that? What's his name?
I'm not sure.
Christopher, what's his face?
Nolan?
Yeah, Christopher Nolan Batman. Another one.
Christopher Nolan, if you're listening, we're sorry.
I'm so sorry, Chris. Can I call you Chris?
Send me a DM. We'll talk about it.
So yeah, you're definitely gonna have to get him to go with your you're gonna have to get your Batman to go with your Joker. Then there's a Scarecrow. I think that Scarecrow, I don't remember him looking like that in the show or in the movie, but okay. I mean, at least that's the one that's messed up and not the Joker. So then you also get your Two-Face, which Two-Face I'm a little torn on. I kind of like to get a Two-Face.
You're torn.
I'll have to flip a coin.
Ah!
Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll decide if I get Two-Face by flipping a coin. And then you also get Bane, which I think Bane, he's not the worst looking. I think Scarecrow's the worst looking out of them, but Bane is a close second.
I never even liked Bane's look in the movie, though.
I agree. So I think that one...
Like, they just get...
Yeah, Bane and Scarecrow are going to be peg warmers. Joker is going to fly off the shelf. Batman is probably going to go quick and flip a coin on Two-Face. So they're cool, though. I'm glad that he's doing the older movies finally.
Yeah.
Then we've got some new page punchers for the DC Multiverse. So we'll start out kind of like we did with the Spawn figures. We're going to go tiny 3-inch figures first. You're going to get guess what you're going to get. You're going to get a Batman. But not just one Batman. You're going to get 2 Batmans. So you get the Batman, what is this? Rebirth. So he's got kind of like the purple inside with the yellow trim. It comes with a comic book from, I think it's Batman Rebirth 1. Then you're going to get your Batman Beyond. Future's End #1 is the comic book that comes with him. Then you're going to get a Flashpoint Aquaman. And he comes with a trident, which will be very interesting to see how that turns out. And that comes with, I think it says Flashpoint #3. And then you're going to get the armored up Lex Luthor in his like green battle suit. And that comes with Forever Evil #1. So, I don't know. I don't remember. Those are like $10, aren't they, Jordan?
Yeah, I think so.
So, I mean, they're kind of cheap. I don't know. I just imagine those are like tiny figures that you would like put on a shelf in your cubicle at work or something. And then you get some key issues. So, I don't know. I like that with like for kids that are just starting out collecting. They can get some comic books with their figures. I think I probably more prefer the 7-inch because then those are more playable figures. And we've got some of those coming for the DC Multiverse as well. So we got the 7-inch figures, and that's going to be an Aquaman wave. They did the Shazam wave, or I guess Black
Adam.
Black Adam wave.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this one you're going to get Aquaman. He's got kind of a weird armored shoulder and a big beard. So kind of a weird looking Aquaman to me. Then you get Black Manta, which I think looks pretty sweet. I love Black Manta. And then you get an Ocean Master, which looks like it's going to be pretty similar to the Target exclusive Ocean Master, but different colors out. He's a lot more blue and gold here. And then you get an Aqualad that I actually don't know if I've really seen this Aqualad in the comics at all. I really only know this Aqualad from Young Justice, but he's got kind of more of a Killmonger style hairstyle. So, you know, get your new Aquaman book. Although I just think it's so strange that you have to get that if you want each of those characters, you're going to end up with 4 of the exact same comic book. So
yeah,
that's weird to me. Then some more figures that I'm sure people are very excited about is the Arkham City wave, but this time gold label, they're all gray. So you're going to get your Batman, your Penguin, your Catwoman, and Ra's al Ghul, and they're all going to be just kind of a black and white version, but not even as cool as the black and white Page Puncher Batman. This is just like not quite the artist proof, but
artist proof.
But they've all got like some weird splash of color to them. Like Batman's got some like red blood on his face. Catwoman's got her like goggles are colored. I don't know what Penguin and Ra's al Ghul have, but you know, if you were wishing that McFarlane would put out figures with less color, there you go. Then you also got some of the older, or not the older, but the like, I don't know, those like Adam West style Batman figures. I don't know all these characters' names, so you'll just, if you've seen the show, oh yeah, there you go, King Tut. You get Batman with a purple mask for some reason.
Oh, an Egghead.
Oh,
Vincent Price.
That's a character?
Vincent Price played Egghead.
Well, then who's the guy in the suit? Is that Alfred? I don't think that's Alfred.
I think one of them's Alfred.
Oh, all right. Well, then maybe this is Alfred. Alfred looks like he's kind of more of got a Playboy outfit on, I think.
Yeah, that's. I think that's Alfred.
Then you get Batman. It looks like he comes with a cloth cape, which is weird.
Oh, maybe that might be Bruce Wayne in his like lounging attire.
Is Bruce Wayne bald?
No.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, whoever this guy is, you get him. You get. Looks like Batman and Robin and Egghead and King Tut all come with cloth goods, which is odd.
Yeah.
And then you also get a Two-Face, and then you get a black and white gray version of Robin and Riddler. So don't worry, the black and white doesn't only pertain to the 7-inch figures, it also pertains to the Adam West style characters too. Then I think Jordan and I were both interested in this, but not interested enough to buy. They did I think this is part of the Walmart Collector Con Batman animated series. You got a 4-pack of Batman, Joker, Harley Quinn, and
Harvey
Bullock. Harvey Bullock. They look cool. They look just like the animated series. This is kind of in the like older DC Direct. Looks almost DC.
I have a Batman. What is that Batman I have? That kind of looks more like that one to me.
I think that's the same one, but then all the other figures have kind of that DCUC hip joint. I think the Y joint. And they come with a pretty decent amount of accessories. I think the only problem is it's 4 of them for $100. So $25 a figure, which isn't insane, but it's just, $100 is a lot to drop. So, yeah, I don't know. Some figures I'm excited for there, but not many. If it feels like we're ragging on McFarlane a little bit more, it's because we're a little salty. We thought we were going to get to meet up with our old buddy Todd, but apparently he was too busy for the old Strong collectors, so he snubbed us. But
despite us giving him the spotlight of all our subscribers,
so yeah, we waited around
looking
on hands
like
and
a couple
knees.
of idiots.
Yeah, but I don't know. We'll get him back on the podcast, and I'm sure he'll apologize profusely for his discretions and wrongdoings to the Strong collectors. But he may just have to miss out on some defending for a little bit as punishment. But yeah, I mean, I think that was really all the reveals. There was nothing from Hasbro until today. They officially revealed the new Moon Knight, the new Moon Knight, the same
Vulture
Moon
Wave.
Knight. Yeah, the same Moon Knight that we had in the Vulture Wave, but just in a windowless packaged box. So, if you missed it, which I don't know, that one is going higher on the secondary market. So we've talked about this before, where it's cool to have, not cool, but it makes sense for Hasbro to want to put out those figures that are going higher on the secondary market, because then it's not like I make all the money. Hasbro can just put out the figure and make the money. But this was the wrong Moon Knight to put out. Yes, this one's higher, but what do you get this one for? 50 or less? For sure 50. Less than 50, right?
I was thinking even in the 30s, but
yeah, I would say 30, 40.
Yeah.
Because I think the Walgreens version is
And this one from Hasbro, what, $24.99 with shipping and tax?
Yeah.
Probably puts you a little above. You could basically get it
right
for this price already.
And you could get the windowed package with a Build-A-Figure piece. But then, yeah, I don't know why they wouldn't have put out the Walgreens exclusive one, unless it's they've got some deal with Walgreens where they're not allowed to do that.
I could see that.
I don't know. It just seems like they should have done the Walgreens version or given us a new one, or at least change the paint on it or something, because some of the pictures make the black look a little more blue, which then it's at least okay, this is different. You're not giving us the same thing in a worse package. But I don't know, that's another one too, is they're probably going to put all those little tiny moons in a baggie. Make sure you're over the kitchen table for when you open that, because if you drop that in the carpet, you'll be on your hands and knees forever. So Man, I don't know. That's a silly choice to me, but Moon Knight was big and popular a month or two
couple
ago.
months ago.
Yeah, so they're a little behind the ball on that, but I don't know. There you go. You got your Moon Knight if you really needed him, and you don't have to pay the eBay prices. You can get it straight from
Ryan.
Hasbro.
Dakota doesn't mean it.
Yeah, but that's also like, I'm gonna pull it up right now because like, is this available now or is this a pre-order for?
I think it's. Oh, I don't know.
Let's see. Nope, it's a pre-order, and it's a pre-order for May 31st.
Oh man, I thought it was available now.
Nope, not available until May 31st.
That's bad, dude. That's like up 2 months before the Spider-Man 3-pack.
Yeah, and that's for we don't even have like another like Moon Knight thing planned, right? Like there's not another.
No.
Like he wouldn't show up in something, right? I don't think so.
Unless they shoehorn. There's no way he's going to show up in like Ant-Man.
No.
That would be like random. No. Oh man, that's bad.
It would make sense if it was right now. Right now.
Well, it's to the people who are like, yeah, like, oh, I'm glad I didn't just buy one. It's like, well, you're going to be waiting for a while for this one. So.
Right. 7 months, which, I mean, like we were kind of mentioning earlier, that Hasbro's not really sticking to their release date, so maybe it's 5 months instead of 7 months, but still, like, you missed the hot window there for sure. Like, that's going to be on Pulse until it's released. Like, that's, I don't know. Like, they did the same thing with Kang, where Kang was in the MCU, got really popular, so they put out a re-release. And I think that one may have sold out initially, and then maybe there was some more.
I think people were just now getting those not long ago, though.
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah.
So
I think
like
I think that was coming out in July, yeah. So it's just recently, and yeah, it's I guess, but at that point, like, why would you wait 7 months for a figure that you could get for $5 more now? Like, you might as well just get it while you're excited about it. Or if you wanted to wait 7 months, it's probably going to go cheaper. So, yeah. And this one, like, I had this one and I sold it pretty quickly because I didn't like that plastic piece in the chest. It just, I don't know, maybe I was just moving it too much, but I didn't like the way it felt. It was kind of.
No, I think I felt the same way.
Yeah, this is definitely the worst version of it, but I don't know. It does look cool, and I wish I liked it, and I almost want it again, but that's just until I remember, like, you sold this because you didn't like it. Don't buy it again just because it looks cool. Yeah, no. It's... I mean, does he come with an extra pair of batons? Did he come with those batons in the Vulture pack?
I thought so.
Did he? Okay. I don't remember mine having it. But, maybe if you lost your batons for your Daredevil, you can get this and sell off your Moon Knight. But, yeah, it comes in that windowless packaging. It just... Again, odd choice, but I was really hoping for a newer Moon Knight, but whatever, Hasbro. Save my money, I guess. I got plenty of other things on pre-order that I don't need to be buying another Moon Knight for. So, let's see. Any final thoughts on New York Comic Con, Jordan?
I think that kind of wraps it up, really.
Right.
I mean, yeah, I'm excited to see. I don't know. Maybe not excited, but I saw several people posting like having seen the HasLab in person and like still generating conversation there. So I'm very curious what the next few weeks will look like there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you've looked at it today, but it's down. Let's see, pull it up. We're at 5196, which is pretty close to 1,000 less backers than when it was at its peak. So we're currently at 57.73% funded. So still over half, but each day it drops just a little bit more. And we've got 20 days as of recording this right now. So it's looking bleak. but there's a chance. So we'll see. Maybe with those final, if there are 2 more tiers, I think that's going to help them out a lot. I think if it's 1 more tier, I don't think it's going to really move the needle, because people are going to want to see those things that are going to make it worth it. So if we get maybe a Hellstrom and a Blackheart, maybe that pushes some people over the edge. So, but I guess that's, I don't know. Like that would almost have to be
a
like
lot of people.
It would have to be its own like single tier, because they've got the 9,000 is to get it backed, 10,000 is for Goblin Queen. If they had 11,000 as 2 characters, and then 12,000 as Mephisto, maybe we would get to 12,000, but
Still be tough.
it'll be tough. But time will tell. We'll be here to tell you when we find out any more tier unlocks, or we'll definitely, we'll keep you updated. So remember to subscribe, because we've got our giveaway going on right now. Once we hit 200 subscribers on YouTube, we're going to be giving away one of Daryl Young's posters. So make sure you go to the link in the description, check out his Etsy shop, find your favorite poster there, because if you are the winner, you'll get to choose any one of his posters. We'll send it out to you for free. We'll also link his Instagram down below. You can follow him there. See all the new posters he's got coming out. I'd like to see if I could talk him into making a Spawn poster. I'd like to see what he does for that.
Ooh, I think he'd do a cool Spawn.
That's what I'm thinking too. So he'll be a guest on the podcast coming up here shortly. We got to get that scheduled, but I'm sure we'll give him some ideas for new characters we want to see him do. So make sure you're subscribed on YouTube. If you're listening on any of the audio platforms, head over to YouTube right now, throw in a subscription just so you get entered into the giveaway. Make sure you're sharing with your friends, get them entered as well. And until next time, stay strong.